We get together here on Wednesday evenings and put on some radios from the early days of single sideband. And I'm on one of the very early ones tonight. If I'm not exactly on 3870, if I don't have exactly the carrier suppression and sideband suppression one might expect, I will tell you why. This station began in 1948 when Collins built the first permeability-tuned oscillator for amateur radio called the 310B, and I'm using it to be the VFO for Heathkit's 1959 single sideband adapter called the SB10. And I'm using that SB10 adapter to convert a Heathkit DX60 novice rig, single 6146, to a little bit of single sideband, and that's driving my Collins 30L1. So, if I get way off frequency, tell me to stop talking, and I'll give this thing to Rusty, and he can talk a while. Buy-sell trades are appropriate if they're vintage radio related, and if you have a technical question, this is a great place to ask for advice on a vintage radio. I'm going to call some people, then we'll give it to Rusty. Hey, Rusty, did you mark down any earlies, or do I have all the earlies listed here?
You got them all up there, Lynn. I think I know why Jay's not on. There's some storm right down there close to Corpus Christi.
That's probably it. Yeah, I kept listening for him. Okay, I may not call all the people that I've got on my list here because people get tired of listening to me talk. So let's don't do that. I'll give it to you, and we'll just start from scratch on some of these. All right, KA5LYL. Todd, you still there? K5LYN. Okay, Todd was there. How about N5OJB, Denver?
This is N5OJB. I'm in Gonzales, Texas. I'm 60 miles south of Austin on Highway 183, and I am talking on a Collins S-line, all winged emblem. I've got the 32S1 transmitter, the 75S1 receiver, and the 312B4 console. Everything works great, and I'm talking to you on it right this minute on an inverted V fan dipole, homemade, and driving an NCL 2000 amplifier with it. And everything is, there's a receiver, and everything sounds, y'all all sound great. I think I'm pretty close to frequency. So back to you, Lynn.
Hey, Denver, it's always great to hear you, and you're the only guy that ever has that national amplifier on there, so we're always glad to hear it. It's a lot of fun. Great to hear you this evening. Okay, I'm going to move on because we've got a bunch of people. Let's see if Jimmy's still there. KC5WLF. Jimmy?
Yeah, well, good evening, everybody. Yeah, I'm still around, and noise level seems to be going up on the band, but everybody's still in there pretty good. This is Jimmy, Kilo Charlie 5 Whiskey Lima Fox. I'm over here in Cedar Park, not too far from Austin, northwest part of Austin, and I'm speaking to you on my FT 101 Zulu Delta, and it's still working great. It's got an AM filter in it too. Every once in a while I'll listen on that. But anyways, into a off-center fed dipole made for 80 meters. No amplifier, but this thing shows to be on peak reading over 150 watts. So it's still pretty stout on the 6146Bs, I suppose. Anyway, back to you, Lynn. Thanks for letting me check in. KC5WLF. Good evening, everybody.
Doing a perfectly nice job, Jimmy. Strong signal into Austin here this afternoon. All right, moving on. KC5L, what do you say, Tom?
Hey, good evening, Lynn, and everyone on the Bone Anchors Net. This is Tom, KC5L in San Antonio. And tonight here we're on the usual, talking on the Central Electronics 200B with a D104 microphone, driving a 600L amplifier doing about 300 watts into a Johnson KW Matchbox, and a homebrew doublet up about 15 feet. And we're listening on the R390A. And that's about all I have here this evening. You have a great signal here in San Antonio. So back to you, Lynn, KC5L.
Outstanding, Tom. You're great into Austin tonight, and thanks for the consultations on the Central Electronics 600L. I'm going to be catching up with you one of these days. Moving on. Let's see. Barry. Barry was early. He may not still be here. KF5YMF. Barry, any chance you're still around? Maybe not. How about Pepper, K5PEP? Pepper, you still lurking over there somewhere? Well, how about K8WOZ, Dan?
Oh, yeah, well, there'd be one out of the crowd. They always show up like a bad penny, Lynn. This Dan, KWZ in Houston. I'm talking on a drifty, well, maybe not so much. I had it sitting here for about 3 hours to calm down. I think it did a bit. Anyway, it's a Swan 350, putting out about, about 300 watts, actually. And it's in pretty nice shape. I had to do some work on it, like everything else, to get it working. But, in fact, I was going to get a power supply package from Rusty for this power supply, but once I got working on it, I found out that it was just fine the way it was, so I left it. No hum or anything else. Antenna's just a standard inverted V shaped like an L up there because it's in the corner of the lot, about 42 feet in the middle. And the microphone's a Shure 444D. A little bit of rain and probably about 50 degrees out here tonight. That's it from here, Lynn. Thanks. K5LYN, KWOZ.
Spectacular signal, Dan. And the old Swans are hard to beat. And that just reminds me, I was supposed to pick up Doug a little bit sooner. So let's go back there. Hey, WB1E, Doug, you over there somewhere?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. This is Doug. Tonight, WB1E in Bryan, and we'll doggone it, Dan. That's just, you got some competition now. I got a 500, so I hope I'm not too much louder. I only have 380 watts PEP out of these old worn out finals. They're the ones that it came with, I guess I could say. But they work great for driving an amplifier, but I'm not doing that tonight, so that's it, 380 watts. With the Electro Voice 638, and I'm not sure if I heard anyway. So that's it. The inverted V's up about 75 feet. And Dan, I need to remind me to ask you what kind of microphone you were using. So, all right, Lynn. Well, everybody sounded great. You know, after the storm, it was nice. Just a gentle rain. No real bad artifacts at all. I mean, I just kind of left everything turned on because I didn't hear a lot of bad stuff. So, all right, this is WB1E, and I'll be returning it back to K5LYN. There, Lynn, go ahead and take it. Thank you for picking me up. Over.
Hey, if you want to follow up with Dan and that microphone, do it right now.
It's just a Shure 444D, the black one.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you about the color. Hi. Okay, thank you.
Okay, and I'm on a Shure 444. They're hard to beat these days. All right, let's see here. W5DPP. Sammy, do you want to talk? All right, I had another call. K0MP, was that right?
I had time to find the switch.
Oh, Sammy, go ahead.
Oh, good evening again, Lynn. K5LYN, this W5DPP. I have to say good evening to everybody out there on the boat anchors. Still hadn't gone through some of this estate stuff I got, but one of these days there'll be something coming out here to try to pedal down the road and figure out what's what, you know, what works, what don't. I know there's a Central Electronics there that needs to probably go out to somebody that's got one, or somebody wants to rebuild one, so that was a kind of unusual find. If it would have been in a better location, it would have been a good find, but it was still in the original shipping, the wooden shipping crate, so I have an original shipping crate for one of those if anybody needs that. Anyway, we're just on the flex here this evening. W5DPP.
Okay, keep us posted on that Central Electronics. We might want to hear a lot about it sometime. Let's see here. Okay, that's. Let me pick up WB5DYA. Hey, Cliff, let's see how you're doing up there. Talk to us, K5LYN. very fine, Cliff. As soon as I get a little time on my hands, you and I are going to get together. I've been swamped with stuff right now, but haven't forgotten that you and I need to get together. So keep me on the calendar somewhere. I'll get in touch with you. Good to hear you. Okay, hey, Rusty, I think I've talked enough here. Why don't you take it and pick up any of the earlies that I failed to pick up that are lurking out there and don't want to be forgotten about, and who else you can come up with. WK5R, K5LYN.
K5LYN, WK5R. Mighty fine there, Lynn, and I will holler at Dan there and say, Nabbit, I thought I had a sale coming there. All right, this is WK5R with a Boat Anchors Unlimited net. I'm running the usual stuff tonight. It's the Kenwood TS590S, the Audio Technical microphone, the Homebrew GF35 amplifier, and the Homebrew fan dipole. We're running about 1,100 watts or so. And with that, who else is out there for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now.
Kilo Echo 5 Quebec.
Okay, I got you there. I got KE5Q and W5SU. I think it's SU or XU or something. I'll get it in just a second. Anyway, go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, this is KE5Q, and that was Carl, W5SU. You got it right. KE5Q Plano, Jim, and we are on the Collins tonight, the KWM2 round emblem. We're not driving the 3001, but we are driving the L4B, and that's going into the Ultimax 8040 double bazooka. And the microphone is the D104. I was using the Shure 444 earlier and did a little test with a couple of the guys, and they said this one sounded a little bit better. So this is a non-amplified D104. Appreciate you guys calling the net. Go ahead, Rusty. KE5Q Plano.
Well, the Collins station driving the Drake amp sounds good there. Thanks for checking in, Jim. We'll catch you next time. Okay, W5SU, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Whiskey 5, Sugar United, like summer culture. On an unamplified TR4C and an unamplified Shure 450. Barefoot obviously into a, I'll call it an N-fed inverted L, fed at the feed point. I guess anything's going to be fed at the feed point. But fed directly to the tuner, let's put it that way, remotely, and that's the deal. And again, Carl, Corporal Alpha Radio Lima in Dallas, and that wasn't planned, Jim, when I signed in right behind you. That was coincidence. Enjoying lunch this afternoon. Go ahead, Boat Anchors, W5SU.
Okay. I believe you said you're on the Drake there, and it's doing pretty good. Appreciate you checking in. I believe you said your name was Carl. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to multitask here, and I was overloading my computer between my ears there. I was reading the email and listening to you at the same time. I got my wires crossed. But anyway, thanks for checking in, Carl. We'll catch you next time. Okay, who else is out there for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now.
November 5 Fox.
Okay, M5PM. Good evening, Phil. Go ahead.
Hey, Rusty, good to hear you. Trying to get in here a little early and get out. Running a KWM2 with a Heil mic. Driving a SC200. Putting out about 600 into a inverted V at about 45 feet. And that's about the story here, and it's all working good, looks like, and I hope it sounds good. And WK5R, M5PM, back to you.
Okay, Phil, your comment sounds good there. I got the good news and some bad news. The good news is I got the relay problem fixed. Then I got to looking, and I didn't have any high voltage. The rest of the stuff was working, but the high voltage wasn't working. So I got to looking, and apparently, I don't know when it happened, whether it was during shipment or what, but something happened to the 5R4, and it appears that they let the vacuum out of it. So I found one for just a few dollars, so I'm going to go ahead and order it and plug that in, see if that works. I got it plugged into my testing console over there, and the relay problem is solved. I still got to button everything back down. And hopefully I can just, when that other deal gets here, I can just plug it in. We'll be ready to go there. Over.
That sounds like a good deal. I figured you'd handle it. No problem. I'll send it to the right guy. So, whatever you got to do, that'll be fine. Let me know. I'll be here. This is M5 PL.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know, I told you I found the relay was bad. I couldn't believe that. It's like a brand new board with a bad relay on it, but I guess anything can happen. Anyway, we'll catch you next time there, Phil. 73. All right, who's next for the Bone Anchors Unlimited? Go ahead.
London, Yokohama, London, Ohio.
Okay, is that you, Todd?
Roger, roger.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I guess I fell asleep when y'all called on there, when Lynn called on me earlier. And I said over there in that recliner, that's what I get. This is KA5LYL, Todd in Corpus Christi. And tonight I am on my boat anchor stuff. That would be the Drake twins. Excuse me, original Drake 4-line twins. No B, no C, just a T4X transmitter and an R4 receiver. And no amplifier, running the stuff barefoot. Around 100 watts, maybe just a little more. And the microphone's an Electrovoice 619, and running all that into a Drake MN4 tuner, a Drake Mike November 4 tuner, which is for sale. Well, it and the R4 receiver I'm using right now for sale because I have an R4A coming. Let's see, and I got an extra Drake MS4 speaker. I'm going to let go with this receiver probably. It's real nice. Let's see. Anyway, that's what I got going into an off-center fed dipole of about 40 feet. 40 feet. Back a minute. KA5LYL.
Okay. Well, your little Drake station's working there. You're kind of light being you're barefooted, but I got everything you said there. It's a little bit narrow, but then some of those Drakes are fairly narrow anyway. But it is crystal clear. We'll catch you next time. Okay, who else is out there for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now.
November 5, Delta Juliet Papa, N5 DJP.
Okay, N5 DJP, go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Rusty. Name here is Mike, and I'm talking on a Yaesu 101E with a D104 mic, doing about 100 watts. I have a long wire antenna, 130 feet long, with a homebrew 9-to-1 transformer. And I do have a counterpoise hooked to that also. Everybody out there have a great evening, and back to you, Rusty. Inside DJP.
Okay, Mike, where are you located at?
Oh, okay. I'm in New Caney, Texas, about 20 miles east of Conroe, 14, 15, somewhere in there.
Roger, I know where you're at. I got a friend that lives down there, K5CGI, Richard. You might even know him.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have a good one. We'll catch you next time. All right. Who else is out there for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now.
November 5, Juliet Golf X-Ray.
Okay, I got one out of that wreck. Go ahead there, Marty.
Okay, I've got something going on. Tuner doesn't want to act right. Yeah, electricity ready, Rusty.
Okay. Well, maybe next round you'll figure out what's going on and check back in. Okay, Marty, appreciate it. Okay, who else is out there for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? I know there's some there because I heard some behind Marty. Go ahead.
November 5, Juliet Golf X-Ray.
Okay, something ending in Golf X-Ray. Go ahead. With a station out there ending in X-Ray. Go ahead.
November 5, Juliet Golf X-Ray.
Is that Juliet Golf X-Ray?
Yep, it's Hugo, November 5, Juliet Golf X-Ray, over.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, just checking in and running the Kenwood TS2000 here, and checking in for the numbers as well. Everybody's sounding pretty good, even with the static crashes there, over.
Roger, okay. Even on the modern rig there, appreciate you checking in there. We'll catch you next time. Okay, who else is out there for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Come now.
W50ZZ. 5 KBP.
Okay, I got another train wreck there, but I caught Marty out of that. Go ahead, Marty.
All right, Rusty, sorry about that. I don't know what went wrong on this thing. But anyway, this is Marty in 5 KBP. I'm in Longview, Texas. I'm running my little Atlas 350XL tonight. Driving a little Ameritron 3-holder AL811, and it's raining. So that's about it on this end. Back to you, Rusty, in 5 KBP.
Okay, well, the little Atlas 350 XL, it sounds good. I don't hear anything wrong with it. We'll catch you next time, Marty. I'm going to take one more, and then I'm going to let Lynn run with it for a little bit while I answer an email. All right. Who else is out there for the Boat Anchors Unlimited? I'll see if I can pull one out. Go ahead.
W50ZZ.
Whiskey Sierra.
Ooh, boy, that was the worst train wreck than the other one. Y'all try it again and spread them out a little bit so I can pull one out of there.
WB50ZZ.
W6MWS.
Okay, I got two there. I'll take those two and then I'll hand it back to Lynn there. All right, Don, go ahead.
Yeah, this is WB50ZZ. Running Kenwood TS520 into a Heathkit HL2200 and a double bazooka at 45 feet. And that's about it. And located in New Caney, Texas.
Okay. Yeah, I got two friends out there in New Caney then. Appreciate you checking in there, Don. Okay, I think that was that NWS or MWS. Go ahead.
Yeah, Whiskey 6, Mike Whiskey Sierra. I'm in Denton, Texas, up north of Dallas. My handle is Marshall, and you guys are coming in real strong. I'm using a 7300 exciter with a Henry KD amplifier and a Heathkit station monitor into a G5 RV. Go ahead.
Okay there, Marshall. Well, that all sounds good there. Even modern radios are welcome as long as they're interested in what we're doing there. I'm stepping on my tongue there. Now, and I know exactly where you are there. I've been up in that area before. It's home of the Mean Green up there, and Crum is just west of you guys. Unless you're out in the country or something. Appreciate you checking in, Marshall. I'll look for you again. Anything else for the net?
Only if you know where Crum is. Well, that's pretty close to where I live. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Now, I've been to the football field there in Crum.
Anyway, you guys are doing a good job out tonight, so I'll turn it back to you. W6MWS clear.
Okay, Marshall. Nice to meet you there. All right. K5LYN, WK5R. You ready to take it again for another round, Lynn?
Well, what's it sound like? Am I in the ballpark?
Yeah, you're right on the money.
Somebody else came in there with you. Say again, Lynn, so I can get a fix on you.
Okay. Yeah, I was asking if I was still in the ballpark. Sounds like maybe I am, Rusty.
Yes, you are. And I know there's some more out there. See if you can pick them up.
All right. This is K5LYN returning, Lynn in Austin, and I'm on an ancient station that is a combination of pieces of equipment built by Collins in 1948 and Heathkit in the 1950s and Collins in the 1960s. Who else do we have for the net tonight? I'm listening.
K0, Sierra Echo Delta.
Okay, I got SED and somebody else. Steve, SED, talk to us, and we'll find out who the other person is.
Well, good evening, Lynn, and all the boat anchors. K0, SED, and Tyler. And tonight I'm on my trusty old Kenwood 520 and a Collins 3001, the dipole up 40-odd feet. And lots of rain in Tyler. Love it. Back to you, Lynn. K0, SED.
Oh, great signal, Steve, and I still think of the fun conversations we had up at Belton last time. Looking forward to doing it again. Are you going to travel out to the ocean event this year?
I don't think I'm going to go to the West Coast this year, but I'm going east real soon.
Okay, keep us posted. All right. Jay, did I hear you in there?
W5IS doubled with Steve. Sorry about that.
Okay, I was trying to figure out who it was that I heard. Doug, IS, talk to us. You got a great signal.
Yeah, good evening to you and the net, and apologize, I'm on solid speed. I forgot to turn my boat anchor stuff on, and but anyway, I'm listening now, and Steve, I'm sorry I doubled with you. It's been a while. But I'm running a 7300 and a solid state amplifier, so I'm way out of kilter tonight, Liam. W5IS, go and pick up the boat anchor.
Well, Doug, it's always great to hear you, and I seldom admit it, but I've got an ICOM 7300 here in the shack also. They have a place in this world. Great to hear you. All right, who else for the boat anchors tonight? K5LYN listening?
WA5EDX.
EDX, hey, Byron, bring us up to date.
Hey, good evening, Lynn, Rusty, everybody else on the good old boat anchor net. Want to shout out to Doug down there in Bryan College Station. And Doug, I'll see your Swan 500 and raise you 200. That'll put me on a Swan 700S, which I don't think I've heard one of those on the boat anchor net here in quite a while. If anybody can tell me what a HF 700S is, they win the booby prize tonight. It was the last of the Swan Sweet Tube transceivers, as I recall. Compared to a Swan 350, it's got more, a little more solid state stuff in it. That is, instead of the 7360 balance modulator tube, it has a small integrated circuit board mounted on top of the chassis with a, what is that, a 1496 modulator chip on it, something like that. So it's got a little solid state thrown in, but I'm putting out a little over 100 watts, maybe 200 watts PEP on it, I guess. I am running it barefoot, and I am talking into a good old D104 on it. So I think this is the first time I've had it on the air. Now, I was checking it out last week, and I thought I had a problem to begin with because when I put it in tune or CW, there was no output unless I cranked over the carrier balance. And that was unlike the 350s and the other Swan tube rigs that I've had and played with before. And, of course, so I probably wasted 3 or 4 hours trying to figure out what was wrong with the thing and studying the schematic. And lo and behold, I decided, well, if all else fails, read the manual. So I pulled up a manual, read the manual, and lo and behold, it's not supposed to have any output unless you crank the carrier balance on it. So as far as I know, this is the only Swan that was redesigned that way. And it must have had something to do with them changing from that 7360 balance modulator to a solid state design. If anybody knows that, pass on the information of why they did that. Speaking of why they did that, Lynn, you haven't promoted the Swan Tube compendium out there on the internet for people to read. I did go back and look at that a little more detail last week, and that is a plethora of information on swans. Everything you ever wanted to know and didn't want to know. So we need to keep advertising that. It's 300 plus pages of good information on swans. So there's information in that I've never seen anywhere else. So I highly recommend it. Y'all all read it next week, study real hard, and there will be a pop quiz. Hi. Sorry for taking up all the time on the net, but this is the boat anchor net, right, Lynn? K5LYN, W5EDX.
Comment?
Who said contact?
WK5R. I believe that is the later black paint version with the red LED readout, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I was about to ask Byron.
Close. It is the later version. It is the later, more modern design cosmetically, and it kind of matches the
The design matches the 350 Baker that I had on the air last time I was on the net with y'all, and it also matches the 350D, which is the digital version of that one. So yeah, they're all these are the more modern design, and they actually had. I'm running it on an old Swan power supply, but there was a matching power supply made for this called the PSU 3, I believe, or PSU 4. One of those. So I think they're kind of rare. I wasn't able to get that power supply with this rig, but it runs fine on the 117X or XC that I have here.
Yeah, they must be there because, as you know, I rebuild those things that I've never had one in here to rebuild. So you're right. Go ahead, Lynn.
Yeah, Byron, I'm curious. Like, Swan confused us by using similar numbers on radios that were very different. It sounds like that's another example of it. But a Swan 700 was a high-powered radio. Does that not apply to that one also? It ought to put out way more than 100 watts.
Well, yeah, now it won't put out as much as I have a 700CX too that I've had on here before, and it's not rated as much. It's not rated as high. But it does have it runs two 6MJ6s, I believe. It doesn't run the 8950, so it doesn't put out quite as much as the 700. But I think these may be the original tubes. I'm going to put another pair in here tomorrow and see if it'll do more. So I hadn't tried to get every bit of power out of it, and I really don't want to. One thing the tube compendium literature had in there was some modifications you could do to kind of keep the power down on these things, and it also reduces the parasitic oscillation potential on the higher bands. One of them was I think on this model, Swan removed a screen voltage dropping resistor from screen to ground, and that raised the screen voltage, but whenever you do that, you may squeeze another 15 or 50 watts out, but there's a cost to be paid over.
Okay, well, I was just curious, because a 500, Swan 500 will put out 300 watts. You know, we thought that was a lot, but I thought those later ones all were higher, but that may not be the case. It sounds like it. I don't know where they came up with the 6MJ6. Anyway, very interesting history, Byron, and I appreciate you coming in with that radio and telling us about it and giving us a little lesson here. Back to you for one more.
Yeah, okay. Well, you can Google it, and there's not a whole lot of information out there, but there is some, and you'll see it has the later design, and I think the 6MJ6 is it might be I think it's a drop-in replacement to a 6LQ6. There's not a lot of difference there. Over.
Yeah, and 6HF5s, I don't know why they made so many different tubes. They're not that different. Okay, Byron, anything else for the net this evening?
Well, you know, on these sweep tubes, you know, they were never rated for amateur use. The tube manufacturers only rated them for TV horizontal output. So when you look at the ratings on them, you know, they're like rated for 600 volts on the plate and maybe 100 or 150 volts on the screen. So us amateurs, we're the one that amateur manufacturers are the one that jacked all those voltages up because you know they would do it, but they don't do it well for if you mistune them for long periods of time. Everybody realizes that. Over.
Yeah, the tuning's critical. But you know, I built an amplifier 46DQ5 for my 20A, put 1,000 volts on the plate, and if you tune it right, it'll work just fine. Great to hear you, Byron. We better see who else is lurking out there. Keep us posted on that project. Anybody else for the boat anchors this evening? K5LYN listening. Okay, there's a KG5. Try me again. We may need a relay.
India Echo Echo.
Yeah, IEE. Talk to us.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Lynn and everybody else on the net. This is Crystal up in Marshall. I'm coming in on a
about is to me here, what we're running here. So, Lynn, thanks very much. We'll check y'all later. This is KG5IEE.
Okay, Randall, it's a noisy night. I think I'd be hearing you a lot better if it were not for that. Remind me where you are.
Yeah, I'm up in Marshall. I'm in Marshall in the northeast part of the state.
Okay, all right, yeah. Well, glad you came by. This is probably a little bit rougher night than usual, but you're making it into Austin, all right? Okay, let's see. Who else is out there for the net? K5LYN listening. Well, have we covered the territory? Let me put out one last call here. If anybody wants to talk to me, then I'll give it to Rusty. Anybody else for me tonight? K5LYN. Hey, Rusty, why don't you see what you can do with this and probably wind her down.
Okay. K5LYN, WK5R. All right. And I lost my train of thought there for a minute. I was thinking about saying something, now I don't remember. But anyway, all right, who else is out there for the Bow Acres Unlimited net? Come now. Well, I'll throw out one more call. If I don't get anything, I guess we'll go ahead and close her down. Who else is out there for the Bow Acres Unlimited net? Come now. Now, you may be right, Lynn. Sounds like we've run the gambit.
Let's call it a night.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate everybody checking in, because Lynn and myself and Jay, when he's here, we don't know what it takes to you get old things on the air and keep them going. Well, let's see you next week. So this is WK5R with the Bow Acres Unlimited net, now closing the net and returning the frequency to normal amateur abuse.